Hello, we are Fern Smith
and Philip Ralph
from Emergence, which is an arts and social change collective based in Wales.
We're crowdfunding in association with Schumacher College, Resurgence Magazine, Colony and Volcano Theatre. We want to make a landmark documentary series of 6 hour-long conversations with one of the greatest living thinkers and activists of our time, Satish Kumar.
And we would like to invite you to be part of making this happen.
I would like to see a revolution, a transformation in educational thinking, that the dignity of doing things by hand is very high. Caring for each other, caring for the earth, caring for the garden, caring for the food. If we don't develop those empathy and sympathy and compassion, and we have a lot of knowledge in our brain, that's not enough. So it has to be good balance between head, heart, and hands.
Fern, can you speak more about Emergence, what it is and what we do?
Emergence makes art projects with one agenda: to change the world for the better. We organise immersive indoor gatherings and inspiring outdoor events. We conduct research, we make and commission films and performances that aim to question the current way that we think and live. Everything that we do addresses how we can transition through this time of global crisis, which is also a time of massive opportunity, without burning out or giving up. Through listening to Satish Kumar speak and through his life and works, we were inspired to start Emergence, to take our own permission, to trust in the power of creativity and community, and to create a livable planet for future generations. Satish inspired us, as he has with countless others, to be the change we want to see in the world.
Mahatma Gandhi said, "I will go to jail like a bridegroom goes to wedding chamber." With pleasure. That's activism. That's activism. I am guilty of breaking your immoral law, and I will go to jail like a bridegroom to wedding chamber. So please give me harshest punishment. And so when you have that kind of inner strength, inner resilience, inner resolve, and inner resource, then you have no burnout. You have no disappointment. You are always inspired for the cause for which you stand, and you have committed, you have dedicated, you have offered your life to serve that cause with joy, with pleasure. Going to jail, no problem. Going hungry, no problem. Having difficulties, no problem. So that's the life of a pilgrim activist. We are pilgrim activists, not just political activists, not just social activists. We are pilgrim activists. We are on the path of a sacred path. And this sacred action is done not for any praise, not for self-importance, no desire for any outcome. There's no desire for achievement, no desire. You are acting without desiring the fruit of your action.
Who is Satish Kumar, and why do we want to make these films about him?
Satish was born in 1936 in India. In his lifetime, he's been a monk, an activist, a pilgrim, a leader, a teacher. In his 20s, he walked 8,000 miles from India to the United States without a penny in his pocket, carrying only a message of peace. Later, he settled in the UK, where he became the editor of Resurgence Magazine, which is the artistic and spiritual flagship of the Green Movement, and founder of Schumacher College, which has been inspiring the next generation of change makers for 25 years. Now approaching his 80th year, Satish has a lifetime of learning and experience to share. We want to make a series that really interrogates his ideas and creates a legacy for future generations. That's why we've asked Jane Davidson to conduct these interviews. Jane was one of the few environment ministers I've ever heard of who actually likes the environment. She was responsible for placing sustainable development at the heart of Welsh government policy, the first government in the world to do so. Jane, who is also a WWF ambassador, comes from a totally different world to Satish, a world of policy and pragmatism. Together, The two of them will really dig into the issues around ecology, economy, spirituality, business, education, activism and optimism, making this a unique and important series.
Jane, can you tell us why you were interested in doing this project and what you're hoping to gain from it?
Well, I think this is a really exciting project. Somehow, as a society, we've lost our moral compass. We're valuing the wrong things. We value financial success over people's success. We don't think appropriately about how to live within the environmental limits of this single planet of ours. We're focused on growth instead. And intellectually, we know what we're doing is damaging this planet, and yet we're not doing anything about it. And I think that in this time, this particular time in the context of the 21st century, there is a major conversation to be had about whether or not there are new approaches to what we do. I mean, I'm acutely aware that, I come from politics and Satish comes from a religious background. Together, we believe there is an important conversation to be had about where beliefs come from, about the role of spirituality in a secular age, and as comrades and travellers, together to use our discourse as an art form to challenge and probe and ultimately to recognise, revive and reinterpret for today's generations the legacy of an extraordinarily wise man. This won't be a hagiography, though. It will be an interrogation of over half a century of ideas to redefine what it means to be an everyday pilgrim in the 21st century.
Whatever I do, I don't do for anything other than my own inner joy. I have no other criteria. I have no other. I'm not looking for anything else than just my own inner fulfillment and satisfaction. Not success. Seek not success, but seek fulfillment. That's my motto.
Why 6-hour-long conversations?
This is not just a YouTube clip or a TED Talk. We plan to film Satish and Jane over 6 days in order to edit the series down to 6 hours of themed conversations. This will give them the time they really need to immerse themselves fully into a deepening and unfolding dialogue. But why crowdfund, and how will we be spending the money?
Satish walked 8,000 miles without a penny in his pocket, trusting in the universe and the kindness of strangers. He's lived his life by this philosophy. Crowdfunding absolutely supports this ethos. We are trusting in the universe and the kindness of strangers, you, to help us make this happen. By supporting our campaign, you are literally pre-ordering your copy of the documentaries, either by digital download or a limited edition DVD. But you could also get signed books, tickets to the Resurgence Festival, and even attend one of the interviews and meet Satish himself.
This is a not-for-profit project. Everything we raise will go towards making it happen. The administration and the preparation, the interviews, a professional film crew, the production and distribution.
Whatever you are doing, it has great value. Do not underestimate, do not undervalue, do not underrate your own ability and your own contribution you are making. You are what you are, who you are, and whatever you are doing has a great value. You don't have to be famous, you don't have to be a TV star, you don't have to be a celebrity, you don't have to have a photo in the newspaper. You are doing what you are doing, do it beautifully and full heart and full commitment and full dedication. And then that will have effect. Just be sure that whatever I do it well. If I do it well, and if I'm satisfied and my dedication, my commitment and my fulfillment is there, then it will have effect. Other people will see, it will become an example. So you create your something and just dedicate yourself, commit yourself, stay with it. Ups, downs, gain, loss, success, failure, go through it. Resilience, build your resilience, and then you will be fulfilled. There is no disappointment. That's a pilgrim attitude.
We believe To make the future, we need the wisdom from the past. Please join us and help us make this happen. We can't do it without you.
Thank you. Don't do that.
Well, hey, you know it makes sense.